Alright, so a lot of info was in this chapter of One Piece. I mean, so many different things about Roger, Whitebeard, people that were with them, Marco, Blackbeard, big fucking fights, a setup at the end, like, just a lot of content in this One Piece chapter. So there's no One Piece chapter next week, we're on break, but this chapter definitely made up for it because we just got so much content. Finding out that Neko and Inu were on the same ship as Roger, they weren't really like big players, like they even described it that they were basically like what Shanks and Buggy were back in the day, but it really goes to show the unexpected. Like when you first met this fucking cat and dog, you just, oh gosh, we got cat dog up in this motherfucker, but then when you find out that they were a part of the Pirate King crew, well, not necessarily a part because they were there with Odin or whatever, but like they were there, you know, they tangoed with the best of them and shit like that. And then even going back to the motherfucker that's with Laboon and shit like that he was a part of Roger's crew, it's like you never in a million years, and that's what I love about One Piece. You meet these people and you just think, oh, look at this wacky guy, this wacky animal, or whatever the fuck it is, and then you find out this crazy shit. Even Kinemon, when you met Kinemon, did you ever think that, yeah, at one given time he met Roger and he met Whitebeard, even if it was brief and Wano? Like, you never would have thought that. One thing that confused me about this chapter is because the One Piece crew, you know, they're Nakama, they're friends, they're on that fucking ship, they're sailing away for, you know, time and time to come and shit like that. Like, they've been together for a bit and they're really, really close friends. So why was Brook so shocked when he found out about Frankie being Tom's apprentice? Like, wouldn't you think he would already know that by now? Like, that was something that kind of caught me off guard. But then again, it kind of shows how much they don't really say certain things about their past to, like, their Nakama and shit like that. Like, if they find out during the course of their meeting and the arc and shit like that, then fair enough. But I guess since Brook came after that, nobody ever informed him about Frankie's past. But it's still kind of interesting. But then again, that kind of shows in a way, once again, like, going back to Robin didn't tell Luffy, hey, you know, I was with your pops for the 2 years, and I was with Sabo and shit like that. Like, yeah, these people, they keep their mouth shut. I mean, even if you look at it, like the Zoro would mention, hey, I lost a fucking eye, let me tell you the story. Like, they really keep it quiet. And so much insanity regarding the log posts and getting a raffle and shit like that. Like, we're really getting into the meat of One Piece. We're really getting into the big shit. I mean, we're getting constant talks about raffle, how to get there, and even that Roger had to reroute and shit like that on his journey. Like, it really shows that one day One Piece will indeed end, and it's not gonna be as far off as some of us may think. Like, some people still think like, yeah, 20 years from now we're gonna be, you know, reading and watching One Piece. Like, the way things are going right now, I don't think we'll get to that point. Like, I think honestly One Piece will end within the next 5 to 8 years. Like, I don't think One Piece is gonna go another decade, another 15, 20 years. Like, that's not happening when we're talking about Raftel. Now let's talk about Momo claiming that he met Roger, and they were like, you little liar, Roger died 20 years ago. He could have been mistaken. It could have been that he has some weird supernatural power and saw Roger's ghost. He could have been talking about Shanks. Maybe he ran into Shanks at some given point. Or it could be something very, very interesting, because you gotta connect all the ties and shit like that. Oars Jr., if I'm correct, he's from Wano, and if I'm correct, he got that hat from Ace. Ace is Roger's son. Maybe what he was referring to is when he's seen Ace back in the day, he has a similar aura to Roger, he gave him the hat. That would be fucking awesome and shit, like Momo having some sort of memory of Ace. And then you tie everything together, like we had that setup of Weeble. We had Weeble in the beginning before this arc really kicked off and shit like that, because Oda knew what he was doing. Then you introduce slowly in this chapter that they're looking for Marco, and oh my gosh, Oda, please, can you show us what happened a year ago? Because like, we never got to see the full extent of what happened between Aokiji and Akainu when they had that fucking, what was it, 2 or 3 day fight, I don't even remember, 10-day fight, that the whole fucking island turned into lava and ice and shit like that, and Aokiji lost a leg. We never got to see that, but can we please see what happened with the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates and Marco versus Blackbeard? Because that sounds so insane. It was a salty run back that they had in that motherfucker. And I mean, for Marco to lose, you gotta think, yeah, Blackbeard, his crew is on a whole other level. But then again, Blackbeard himself, he has the Yami Yami no Mi fruit, then he has the Quake Quake fruit, and then everybody else that he's rolling with. Jesus fucking Burgess, bro. Like, Jesus Burgess ain't no joke. Like, when you think of Jesus, you think of Burgess. And then the people that he escaped from Impel Down with, like, yeah, poor fucking Marco. He had one hell of a fucking ass whooping, I bet. And I believe they think that he's dead at this particular point. Most people, I mean, they're not 100% confirmed with it or whatever, but like, they were talking as if, well, if he is still alive, I think I know where he might be. So that's insane that the pirates were dissolved in general. The Whitebeard pirates, the remnants of them were dissolved after the ass whipping they took a year ago. Like, Oda, please, I don't give a fuck. Give us a month worth of the chapters of flashbacks of that fucking war. And once again, it ties into the whole stuff with Weeble, because if they're looking for Marco at some given point, whether it be on Wano, whether it be on this island, whether it be during the Sanji shit, like, there's just so many things going on. You gotta gotta think about it for a second. Like, okay, we have the fight against Kaido at some given point. They're going to Wano. Then we got the rescue Sanji shit. Then you got Weeble incoming. Then you got Marco. Then you got fucking Captain Jack outside attacking the elephant. Like, so many things are going on at the same time right now. It's like, even though it kind of feels like every chapter, like the pacing isn't necessarily, you know, exploding and we're not having things happen right then and there, everything is being set up at the same time. So in a sense, the pacing is going very, very fast. And you got to think for a second as well. That fight was so legendary and that was such an incredible battle that that's what put Blackbeard on the map of being a Yonko. It wasn't what happened at even Marineford. It was him smashing Marco and the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates. So again, Oda, stop teasing us. Let us see that fight. If you notice one thing, the crew that is going to rescue Sanji right now is Luffy, Nami, Chopper, and Brook. These are the people that were casted out from the Dressrosa shit. So it's kind of like, I guess Oda's making it up for people that really missed them. It's like, okay, now Zoro and them, they're going to go away. They're going to go on their own journey. And we're going to focus more on the people that wwere kind of excluded from the Dressrosa events, which is kind of cool because we went a long time without seeing any of these people. Although it's going to be, if we don't really get to see Zoro for a while, that's going to really fucking suck. And, you know, a couple other people, Robin and shit like that, like, I'm going to be pretty sad. Although at the same time, Oda can, if he really wanted to, show us like, you know, maybe one chapter focuses on the rescue Sanji shit, one chapter focuses on seeing Robin and them heading to Wano. Like, there's so many different things he could do. And then at the end, which kind of was pretty good progression in a sense, because okay, you know, Jack finally attacked the elephant and shit like that. Only Luffy could hear that, which kind of goes back to the power that he had, which I'm guessing is connected to the Conqueror's King. He was the only one that could hear that voice, and I'm guessing he heard the elephant or the mammoth wailing and shit like that. Well, they could hear it crying, but he probably could actually hear it talking, because if I'm correct, he can hear the creatures and their voices and shit like that. So that kind of goes back into, again, Luffy kind of having that special power that nobody else has. And with all that being said, phenomenal chapter, One Piece. So much info, great info, and just so many different teases and stuff like that. I mean, finding out that this cat and dog, again, they were with Roger at one point, they were with Whitebeard. I want to know more about Odin, to be honest with you. The way they hyped up Odin, that he was in all these crazy adventures, and even Momo got a glimpse of some greatness, whether it be Ace, Roger, Shanks, whoever it may be. Like, Odin has a lot of journeys. Like, that could be a spin-off in and of itself, the journeys of fucking Odin. And your overall thoughts of everything in this chapter. How do you think the fight went down with Marco and Blackbeard? Do you think Blackbeard had Marco on the ground and like took a shit on his face? Like, what are your thoughts on how that fight went down? And your overall thoughts of the chapter. Do you think that Luffy and the crew are gonna have to handle Jack before they set off on their voyage? Or is this gonna be the end of Zoe in general? Like, if he attacked the mammoth and it completely falls down, this could be the end of the Minx's home, which it kind of sucks having your home for centuries and then some fucker named Captain Jack comes and destroys it. And just again, your overall feelings on all this shit. Insane chapter. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed anything about this video, make sure to drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.